Welcome back to Beers and Breakevens for another week. Very excited to be back in the lab. We are going through halfbacks and the tyre fire that is 5'8" today. That's going to be an very interesting chat. Sitting to my left is one of the great halfbacks / 5'8s that the game has ever seen. A prestigious talent from Prodigy, a prestigious talent who was a prodigy coming out of the Cooma Stallions. This is not going quite as I expected. The one and only Tim Danger Williams. How are you, my friend?
I'm well, mate. You know what I was? There's a bit of Tyrone Peachy about me. I was a victim of my own versatility.
Yeah.
I could play too many positions, but was no good at any of them.
I still remember the day I saw Tyrone Peachy play for the first time and he did a somersault and stood back up and made a line break. I was like, okay, this guy fucks.
Yeah.
Cool. Gonna love this guy for eternity. And I did. Know that I did. We've got Kat Haddad on the show again today and for next week as well, which will be this week, but it's next week as well. How are you, the one and only Kat Haddad?
The one and only. I'm good. I don't know about you guys, and I don't know how much you said on previous episodes about.
I haven't been keeping up to date with what we're doing.
Shock.
Yeah, weird. Okay.
Oopsies.
Noted. We're not going to take it personally. It's fine.
I'm just scared of.
She walked in this morning and she goes, "What TV channel is this on?" I was like, "Oh, it's just on our YouTube."
Oh, shut up.
And then she's like, they don't get YouTube in Dubai at the F1.
Is there a makeup room? Like, where's my... And I'm like, sorry.
Where does hair and makeup take place?
We're just battlers
Just
doing
in
our
my
best
car.
around here, okay?
No, what I was going to say is filming the draft stuff last week got me so hyped just for SuperCoach in general. I was really looking forward to the episode today.
How did you find your first SuperCoach draft? You've obviously heard me talk about it here and there occasionally. How did you find it?
I completely understand why now. I think in your heart of hearts, you prefer draft.
Yeah.
Like just not being able to have the same player as someone, like such a simple change, but it is so crucial. And I've loved just like flaunting my team to people. Like this morning, a friend was like, "What does your team look like?" And I'm like, "Well, I got this player and this player."
Yeah,
and this
classic
player.
is a team, draft is a family. That's the difference for me.
How nice is that?
It is. And I get my new family on Saturday, which I'm very, very excited about. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I don't know what's going on. Something in the roof's making noises. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. It's very
Anyway.
strange.
I reckon it's someone on like the complex microphone.
Yeah.
And they're just going, test, 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 test.
Yeah, well, they certainly are testing it, so shout out to them.
Remarkably
Very good to
annoying.
see. I don't think you guys will be able to hear it, but that is going to annoy the shit out of
It's
us.
not really.
Got to kick things off today. Two of the great omens leading into the 2026 SuperCoach season.
Yes, hit me.
Number one, and the least exciting of the two, but fantastic nonetheless. Cooma
Oh,
in the Snowy Mountains
yeah.
is officially the most successful town in Winter Olympics history with guess how many gold medals?
How many?
Two.
Two.
As the Stallions aim for
That's pretty fucking cool, to be
as
fair.
the Stallions aim for back-to-back. Shout out Josie Bath, Cooma born, Jindabyne grew up 40 minutes away, so shout out to Jindy as well. But two, which is fantastic, joining the great Tora Bright. Secondly, and even better, believe it or not, I know, Chinese year of the what?
Horse.
Boom.
The stallion.
Oh, here we go.
Can you believe it? It is the year of the horse, the fire horse nonetheless. The red horse, there's a few different versions of it. Star's got a bit of red on their jersey. Mate, do you want to just throw in the town now?
No, look, I think that it's a cute omen. It's good to hear. I don't need to rely on the stars and the calendar and all that sort of bullshit.
You love that
How often is it the year of the horse? What, is it on like an 8-year cycle or
I'm
something?
not
Is
sure.
that
I know I'm born in the year of the wooden horse.
you're born in the year of the wooden horse?
What?
Yeah.
What? What do you mean?
Well, so are you, Timmy. We're the same age.
Yeah, right.
We're born in the year of the wooden horse.
I didn't
There's
know
a wooden
that.
horse and a normal
Yeah,
horse.
I know. I learned this off TikTok yesterday, actually.
Can you Dior when I was born? 1992.
I think you're a rooster.
Don't say that. That's not
Stop
ideal.
it.
Not what I was looking for, if I'm completely honest. But yes, exciting times. Year of the horse.
I was born in the
Hopefully-
year of the horse. There you go.
Yeah, the wooden horse.
Wooden horse.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You're the year of the monkey.
Monkey, that makes heaps more sense. Good. Great to hear. Now, if there is anyone else that is keen to reach out for sponsorship for season 2025, beersandbreakevens@gmail.com, having a few conversations there, we can officially announce that Blue Wealth Property back on board for season
Yay.
2026, so I cannot fucking wait. T-Rex will be joining us next week. He's going to be joining me in Las Vegas as well, so he might come back in a body bag. We'll wait and see. But he will be on the show next week. Supporter since day one, Tony and the team at Blue Wealth Property, so we thoroughly appreciate the boys, and they've been grinding away in the off-season just quietly.
Yeah, mate, as I said, Tony and the team at Blue Wealth, long time supporters of Beers and Breakevens, which is awesome, and it allows us to do what we do, pay your enormous appearance fee each and every week. Guru, I'll just be me and Kat slugging it away over here, but so thank you to Tony and the team. Excited for a bit in store this year. We're going to shake things up a little bit as always, and very grateful to have them on board.
Yeah, 100%. And if anyone else is interested out there, I am interested in having a third Lebanese friend to add to my collection, because I'm not sure where the power rankings are sitting right now.
Do you know, just on that, last week when we did the draft, you made a certain selection in your team that may be of Lebanese descent. And
Yes,
I
I
made
did.
the joke that you love to give opportunities to Lebanese people. And
I'm
I
a
feel
man
like
of
it
the
just
people.
went over everyone's head in that
Everyone's
moment.
head, yeah.
But I just want to say, on behalf of the Lebanese community, we appreciate you.
Well, I solely picked that Lebanese player to try and piss off Hammy, and he did not care in the fucking slightest. So that might give you a clue as to who it is, but we'll wait and see. But shout out to Blue Earth Property back on board. If you would like to reach out to the team, we'll have a link in the description that you can go and hit, and plenty more coming this year, which is very exciting. Now, before we do get into the show, I completely forgot last week. You might remember 2 weeks ago, Katadad was not present. She was not here. She was working somewhere. Winston was sitting in her chair. Winston had some work to do after and whatnot, so I said to him, mate, don't worry. I'll upload the video. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for years. It'll be fine. Hot tip. Didn't know what I was doing, had no fucking clue, fucked it up, uploaded the episode with no sound. When we did discover that, Timmy discovered it, I was actually at an event, so I couldn't fix it immediately.
And we were together.
We were together,
but I couldn't help
which,
you.
I think I just subconsciously was like, oh, I'm going to point the finger at someone, but it was the guy with two thumbs, unfortunately, which really sucked for eye.
Also, if there's any audio specialists out there, I'm still not quite sure what went wrong with that.
I have no
because
idea.
What you uploaded had audio. So in your defense, I feel like just the world was against you in that moment.
Yeah, look, defense has never been my strong point, and it's not going to start being my strong point anytime soon. But I do apologise. So we did ask for the best sledges in the comments.
There are some hilarious
There's some
comments.
really good ones here that kept me awake at night.
Can I start, or do you want to go?
No. If you've got a good one, hit me with the best.
I've got a few that I thought that I liked.
And we're going to, out of the three that we're going to pick our top three, then we're going to vote on one, and they will get a 2026 Beers and Breakevens football, which
So I
has arrived.
screenshotted a few. The first one, not Supercoach related, but Guru is a clueless wanker. That one was from Wim Tilliams, so
Yes.
shout out to Wim.
Yeah,
I really
that's
thought
it.
that was a cracker.
That was on the episode before, actually.
I think that's been on every episode.
My second one is from a good supporter of ours.
Yes.
Queenslander, 7756. Got the Broncos logo.
7756, yes.
Yeah, good man. Possibly a woman, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure man.
You pig.
Yeah.
You fucking
Just
piglet.
happy to see your face for new season, Guru. Couldn't hear less about the sound. We love a good little pun.
Not bad. Yeah, there was a bit getting stuck into me about the hair.
There was.
There
and
was.
I think my personal favourite, Rue's Supercoach content, so bad it muted itself from Supercoach Sister.
Very good.
I like
Supercoach
that.
Sister, by the way, putting out some good content.
Yeah,
Go
I
check her
yeah,
out. Doing good
yeah,
things.
love her stuff.
What do you got? Speaking of Supercoach Sisters, what do you got?
Supercoach sisters. There's a couple here that I think are so funny. There's a reason some of them have as many thumbs up as they do. It's because they are genuinely funny. So I
Yes.
think we do need to shout out the guys that have gotten the support from the masses. But I think this one, it's the top, the audio and Rue's haircut, two things that didn't get uploaded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
one.
great.
That was one of the ones I had.
I
yeah.
also really I got more from the original upload. Simple but
Just
great.
pure, but good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have the one in front of me, and you might not appreciate this, but I think you will as a Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
I love that one of them gave a sledge in the midst of it, gave it to us, but then also got into Winston as well. Called him Wish Kenny Banya, from Seinfeld. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fucking perfect. That is unreal.
Super niche.
The one that I sort of went for, and once again, just simple, but it just sort of hit. And it shows a fan of the show as well, I think. Rue, just because you don't listen to Timmy doesn't mean the rest of us don't. Which I thought was just fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's good.
The amount of times I do that.
like
Do we have a standout?
Can I just say someone wrote in quotations, "Cat, I don't understand why there is no
Which is
sound."
exactly what happened. like 7
So funny.
times when we were standing
Yeah,
next
yeah.
to each other. Does anyone have one that they feel strongly about they think deserves a prize?
I want to vote for SuperCoach Sister so
Yes.
that it muted itself.
I
think
like
it's funny.
SuperCoach sister.
Yeah, gun. Let's go that one.
And it also leans into she's doing some good stuff on the socials. So.
Yeah, fucking nice. So, Supercoach sister, congratulations. You are the best bully out there, so well done to you. No,
Yeah,
but
the
seriously,
girls.
congratulations. Unreal. Get in contact with us. We'll hook you up with a beers and break-evens football over the next few weeks. All right, now that we're done with the bullying portion of the show, shout out HR. Let's get into...
That's me.
And just when I did fuck that up, thank you all of you for your patience. I understand that does suck when you're thrown out of your routine. You have to watch things later and everything, but the numbers actually didn't change that much on YouTube, which was really cool to see. So thank you guys. I apologise for that, but I'm not going to tell you it'll be the last time it happens. Okay, let's get stuck into the halfback position. A little bit more fun than the 5'8" position. Timmy, are we going to do this starting from the most owned like
Yep.
we have the last few weeks?
Yep.
So number one, Ethan Sanders.
Before we get into it,
Yes.
general overview of position,
Yep.
hard. And,
Yes.
not because there's bad options. I think there are some really good options, but there are a lot of different ways you can play it, and we're going to see that the top 2 owned are cheapies. We've got some potential underpriced guns. We've got the best of the best in Cleary and Hines. It's a tough position.
I'm looking at halfback going, who is the one we should get? I'm looking at 5'8" going, who the fuck is there? Is how I'm sort of looking at it.
Yeah.
So compared to what I've prepared in my mind for 5'8", I'm feeling okay about halfback, but there is a couple of big question marks. Mate, the first thing I want to say to you, I am very surprised that Ethan Sanders isn't playing a trial. Does that surprise you?
How are the halves that Ricky named?
I know.
I've never heard of either of them.
No.
Apologies. But
I can't believe you got a rookie half coming in and he's not playing in a trial. Not playing in the first one, sure, but to his credit, Ricky came out and said the other day, like he essentially doesn't believe in trials. It's too much of a long season, which I get. But I just thought rookie half would be the exception. I don't know.
rookie half, but he did play games last year. He's played NRL games with Eels. He's played a year in New South Wales Cup. It's not like he's put it this way, it's not like who's also not playing, but Kobe Black's injured, right?
He's injured at the moment, yeah.
It's not like it's Kobe Black, say he was fit, he's 18 or whatever, hasn't played NRL, you go, let's get him some time. But Sanders, a rookie, yes, but he's had time. He's not super raw, so I get it. And I don't hate it from Ricky, where it's just like, it's 27 rounds, obviously 3 buys, hopefully finals on top of it. It's a long season. Why put him through another shit trial game? So it's like, I don't mind it.
I actually thought, and maybe I'm overreacting this, I actually thought looking at those team lists yesterday, I looked at a few teams. I thought, wow, there's a lot of guys that are just not playing NRL. They're not playing a trial before a game. I think as long as the season's going to stay this long, I think it's going to start to become more and more common. Like you look at the Manly boys, hardly any of them play. Like Turbo's not, Olaquatu's not.
And also, mate, like they played so many games last year, and then you look at how long the preseason is, how well drilled these guys are. They're ready to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting next year after a World Cup and everyone's had a shorter preseason and everything. I reckon there'll be even less of them play.
True.
Yeah. So I know we always want to have something in the preseason, like the Witzer, whatever the fuck it's called, or whatever, or the Nines or something. It's all sort of on a bit of borrowed time for me. But anyway, that is not the point. Ethan Sanders, 246K, owned by 39.4%. Mate, I think that after not playing a trial, I think that's Ricky saying that he's got confidence in this kid. My hesitations around him about Kobe Black and getting replaced early with Kobe Black injured, I think that's kind of out the window. I still think there's a world where eventually Black replaces Sanders, but I think if you don't play a trial and Kobe hasn't stepped on the field yet and he hasn't really trained full yet, I think Sanders at minimum is safe for the first 8 weeks. I've sort of flipped a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe, not a huge difference, but I'd say 5-6 weeks. Like, I'm just looking at if the Raiders come out of the blocks slow and they're none from 4, well, changes will be made.
Yep.
But I think for the most part, the Raiders should be reasonable. So, and I'll rephrase the start of this segment around the halfbacks, around both Ethan Sanders at 39% and Daniel Atkinson at 30%, because Sanders 246K, Daniel Atkinson 235K. Let's say you're not running a halfback in flex, and let's say you're running a gun in there or an undervalued gun or whatever it might be, and one of the cheapies. Because Daniel Atkinson, despite how poor the Dragons were in the Charity Shield, his running game looked pretty good to me. I thought he looked dangerous. His support play is really good. If you can only have one of them, Who is it? And secondly, are we thinking Sanders goal kicks or not?
I haven't had a good think about the Sanders goal kicking yet. Personally, mate, I've got Atkinson. He's the one that I'm running with at the moment. I think both will be good options, but I agree with you. As average as the Dragons looked, like I saw him in space 2 or 3 times. He looked playing on ball. I don't think the Dragons will be as bad as they were the other night when we actually I think when Sully's on the right side and Val Holmes is back and all that sort of stuff. I think they'll look a little bit better. I'm leaning towards Atkinson. I also think, whether, I said 8 weeks, you said 6 weeks, Sanders, whatever. I think he's reasonable. I think Atkinson is locked in. He's the club right now. I think he has to be the guy. And I think that for me, I can see a world where maybe Sanders is a little bit quiet in this Raiders side potentially and just goes about his work and does what he needs to do. I don't think Atkinson has that luxury. I think he has to be in front and centre of everything. So I'm leaning towards Atkinson personally. What are you thinking?
I'm leaning to similar. I feel more, and it's probably more of a hunch than anything, but I think I feel more confident should I be required in the first 5-6 rounds before I upgrade one of these two guys playing Atkinson in my starting spot.
Yes.
And look, in a perfect world that doesn't happen, but realistically your starting half might miss a game or whatever and you have to play them. But I mean, even that, on the same logic, we're looking at which one of these two is going to make more money.
Yep.
And I feel like off the back of his running game, Daniel Atkinson is going to produce more points. And I look at Ethan Sanders, and again, early on in his career, we haven't seen a lot of him at NRL level, but he does things well, like he goes deep into the line, he squares them up and plays out the back, and he does all those things. Not really going to lend itself to SuperCoach.
Yeah, I think he'll be a better NRL player than a SuperCoach player.
Yeah, at least early on while he's finding his feet. And there, especially now with the sort of last pass try assist, there's going to be a lot where he'll do a lot of lead-up work, but the points are coming out wider.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I really loved about Atkinson the other night was just his support play.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, Gutho's very good like that. But Gutho, an older body, he's not, the most dynamic guy in the world. Like, whereas Atkinson, I don't know, he just felt like a dog just chasing around the ball the other night, which will lead to points. And I think this Dragon side, from what I saw the other night, it looks like they are willing to offload and move the football. It looks like Flano's given them some sort of, like you saw Setu 2 sort of do it out of his own end, and it didn't work out for them. But they look to me like they are willing to move the football, which I just think when you put yourself in the position enough for the ball to find you or bounce to you, Atkinson's one of those guys. I think it will happen.
Could you start Sanders and Atkinson, the double cheapie?
I mean, you could, but I don't love it. I don't want to be playing one of these guys each week for sure. I'm happy occasionally to maybe if I have to. I still... Yeah, we'll get to him very soon, but I've got another halfback that I've locked in as my starting 7.
I think you need to be... I think you could go the double cheapie, but I think because of these undervalued players to start the year, and as it stands, we've got a pretty good cheapie crop to start the season, I believe. So especially in the forwards, which can typically be a bit iffy. I think cash generation is going to be fine. So I'm like, these two could easily average 30 apiece to start the season. If you start with that, you're banking the 30 points a week. The gun, whether it's Cleary or Hines, Jerome Hughes, Sammy Walker, any of these guys, you're picking them hoping for a 65 to 70 average across the first 5-6 weeks. That's a 35-40 point swing to start the season. Like, I might be being a little harsh on Atkinson and Sanders on a 30, but I can see it happening. So it's a lot of points to forego should it eventuate that way. I think if both of them come out at kill it, and we get to round 3 and they're both set for big price rises, and I need to drop my big money halfback for cash purposes, or I need to use my flex for the same reason, I'll do it.
Yep.
And I'll be happy. I won't be happy to do it, but I'll do it. But I'd prefer that than starting with both of them.
Yep, I completely agree. Yeah. So at the moment, gun to head, we're both leaning to Atkinson over Sanders.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's move to the third bloke on the list, Mitch Moses. He's at 25%, 543K. Not in my team as it stands. I understand the appeal of Mitch Moses. I still, even since these new scoring stats have come in, mate, I don't know what sort of numbers you have on him. I understand he grabs the goal kicking, but I would assume that Mitch Moses' stats have probably gone down slightly. As I said, I watched him very close last year, had him in draft. He was playing great footy, but it just wasn't turning into SuperCoach points. I'm a little bit concerned about Mitch Moses. I don't think I'm going to start with him. 25% people have him at the moment. What are you thinking, mate?
I'm going cold on him after initially having him in my team. It's more probably based around their draw to start the season.
Yep.
It's just really difficult. And I don't want to lean too much into draws, but they start with Melbourne away. That's again, and I know without getting into it, we think the Eels are a sneaky chance in this one. Nonetheless, it's still the worst round one matchup you can get. Broncos at Suncorp.
Yep.
Then Dragons at home, which is fine. Panthers, which is away, but it's at Combank. Those first 4 rounds, that's very tough. At least 3 of the 4 of them. It just worries me a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of numbers, averaged 56 last season. The years prior, you averaged 64, 68 and 70. I think people, and myself included, are looking at an improved Eels outfit and the fact that he'll get the goal kicking back and go, how does this very good footballer in the prime of his career not improve?
Yep.
I honestly think there's a world where, they after that Panthers game, they go Tigers at home round 5, Titans round 6 at home.
Yep.
Then the Doggies at home, which is obviously tougher, into Manly, into the Warriors, into the Cowboys. The draw gets way better. I think there's a world where he doesn't actually change that much price, but as things start to break up, attack gets a bit more cohesive. I could be buying him round 5.
I think that's exactly what happens. I think we get to the start of round 5, and he's within 20k of where he starts. I don't reckon he's going to move much.
You're just looking at it, that round 5 Tigers, our cheapy half will have had 2 price rises. So depending on how they start and how scores fall, etc., it could be a little like Atkinson to Moses round 5, even maybe round 6 for the Titans game.
Yeah, I just think with these changing stats and everything, I think it is going to hurt him. I think you will see Iongi pick up a lot and their centres pick up a lot. And I just... I don't know. I just think that the goal kicking is going to square it up. And, mate, if there's any time of the year you're going to pick up less goal kicking points, it's probably going to be at the start when you're forced to play good footy sides. So I was never heaps high on him, but I've definitely cooled on him even more. Anything else on Mitchy Moses?
No.
Nathan Cleary is in my team at the moment. He's owned by 24.4%. You're paying about 300k more than Mitch Moses. I just think the Panthers are in a fantastic spot heading into this season. I think that for the first time ever, Nathan's returning with a bit of a bee in his bonnet. I think he's going to play some great footy this year. The way that I'm looking at it, Timbo, is 826k. It's not cheap. I might lose a bit of money on him potentially, but you don't lose money on guys you don't sell. I'm sort of happy to stick with Nath for the season, I think.
True, but you also don't make money on guys that you don't sell.
No, you don't. But I think that people going with Mitch Moses aren't going to make as much money as they think. They're going to get a lot less points than Nathan Cleary as well. If Nathan the first 6 weeks can jag 1 or 2 of those captain scores that I'm there for, I'm all in. So I'm pretty confident I'm starting with Nathan Cleary.
I'm going to throw another one at you. Except for maybe Parramatta in round 4, who we know notoriously get up for the Penrith fixture.
Yep.
It's also at Combank. I don't think you're captaining Nathan Cleary before round 7, which is still the Dolphins in Darwin. And the reason I'm scared off him is, again, Penrith have the hardest draw in the competition. And I'm not saying that I won't, have my arm twisted in him before round 1 because it's Nathan Cleary and you just go, you know what, if I'm having problems with this position, just get the best of the best.
Yep.
So it could happen, especially with a good cheapie crop, might make it a little easier to do. But again, Broncos away, Sharks in Bathurst, Roosters away, Eels at home at Combank, Storm at home, Doggies away. It's as hard as it gets. I'm thinking round 7 when it goes Dolphins into Knights, into Manly, and it gets easier. I'm hoping to get him at a discount, and whoever I've started with, I'm hoping can make 100, 150k.
Yep.
And then my salary cap says, thank you.
Yep, very fair. I'm going to start with the best player in the game, in my opinion.
You won't captain him before round 7, though.
I bet you some really good money I do. I, without a doubt, bet you money I do. If people out there aren't willing to do it early, I'm the one that'll take a gamble on it. I think we've learned that over the years.
The other thing with Cleary, and I mean, don't let this deter no one starting him, but...
No, do, please.
Yeah. Hard to overlook. He's had a lot of soft tissue injuries in recent
100%.
years.
Yep.
I was going to ask the question of
Yeah.
injury. He's definitely a set and forget type player. I know he has been for years, but I think there is obviously a bit of an alarm bell in terms of potential injury.
And I think to your point, Kat, like we talk about all these set and forgets, because I think we're all expecting Penrith to be sort of top 4 come Origin time, and Cleary probably playing Origin and getting rests on backups and that sort of stuff, especially with the history of soft tissue injuries. I feel like he's actually not set and forget. In theory, he is, but I think realistically, he probably is a sell around the Origin period because he'll miss games and backups and that. But not saying he won't be, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think with this best 13 nowadays, I'm not as concerned about that.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I think it matters less than what it used to anyway. I just think that Nath, he might be a little bit overvalued. That's fine, but I will take the points off him. I feel a lot more confident going him than going like a Mitch Moses or one of them. But 100%, I see where Timmy's come from, and I hope more of you listen to him. And brace yourself. If I captain him for a good score in the first 6 weeks, you might want me to forget the fucking mute button on the podcast.
I already
again.
Time-stamped that one just
Because I'll be carrying on. Know that. Number 5, Nicho Hines, 749K. It's a big drop here from Nathan Cleary to Nicho Hines. He's owned by 9.9%, so just under 10%. What are your thoughts on Nicho, mate?
Don't mind him. Said just significantly cheaper than Cleary. There's also part of me that just says, like, how much cheaper did we say he was? He's 749, Cleary 826. So
That's what the 80K or something.
7-ish. Part of me says if I'm going to get Hines, just pay the extra money for Cleary.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, the price difference not to be ignored, and draw much better. Titans round 1 in Cronulla, thank you. 5:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Penrith in Bathurst, brutal. Dolphins in Cronulla, that's fine. Raiders in Canberra, that's tough. Warriors in Cronulla. So it's a mixed sort of start to the season. Is he named for the trial this weekend?
I'm not sure off the dome. I can't remember. I thought in the All-Stars game, I know he didn't get the attacking stats, but I thought Nicho looked really good in that game. I think that that edge that he floated down the right side, they were a little bit in all sorts realistically.
He's named in the trial, yeah.
His name's sweet, yeah. I'd be okay with you going Nicho, but I do agree with what you just said, and that's my logic. If I'm going to spend that much money, I'm just getting Cleary. Is my thought process.
Yeah. So the thing is, this week they've got like the Raiders have named their Reggie's outfit for their trial, so it's like if they come out and look awesome, it's like, well, they should. It's against the baby Raiders. If it was against a better Raiders outfit and you look real good and was cutting to bits, I'd be tempted. I don't know. I think I'm happy to wait.
Can I ask you a question? If they play this weekend against this, young Raiders side and the Sharkies kill them and Trindle gets all the stats again, does that cool you on him again, or does that not really faze you?
I think we've seen in recent years, mate, and we spoke about it on the Bloke Pod on Monday.
Yep.
There are weeks where Trindle just has the hot hand, and other weeks Nicho does, and the reality is with Nicho in recent years, I don't think he's been at his best. I think he's been decent, but he still averaged 77 and 75 on years where he's been okay. The years before that, 95 and 86. So, yeah, I'm not knocking anyone starting Nicho. I don't think so for me.
I think we're about to fall off a ledge, mate. Not fall off a ledge, but I think we're about to go in talking about a heap of guys that I think will lose points to fullbacks or that I think will lose more points to fullbacks and centres this season than previously. I don't feel as worried about that with Nicho.
No. It's not like, and you look at Will Kennedy's lack of like try assists and line assists and that sort of stuff. Nicho does a lot of playing short to his back row in Nicaragua or the face ball to the centre, which he gets a lot of try assists off. The Sharkies don't tend to have a lot of Nicho out the back to Kennedy who hits the winger. Like, it'll happen, but nowhere near as much as other. Like, Cleary, for example, especially on that right edge, will play out the back to Edwards a lot, who hits the winger or hits the centre or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Like, if we get to round 1 and we actually see more of Nicho out the back of Trindle than Kennedy out the back of Nicho, I'll be like, that kind of makes sense.
So I think it's again, mate, one of your really good points, but
fucking back.
I'm with you. I don't think it'll impact him as much.
Yeah, shocked me. You're with me. Next one, Isaiah Katoa, 639K. One that I'm cooling on massively from a SuperCoach point of view. I think with the way they play and with Hamiso, whether it's Trey Fuller, Hamiso, Herbie, centers, I think the stats that I saw on your page the other day have sort of reflected that. Isaiah's a no-go for me. I'm actually a little bit surprised he's at 8.7%, but you might have more information than me. What do you got?
Yeah, so, I mean, just on those numbers, and we got access at scplaybook.com.au to the new stats server.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, what are they called? Real Stats or something.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Keys to the bank kind of
Stats
stuff.
Perform, they're called.
Yep.
And that's basically where the NRL.com and the NRL get their stats from. And on that, in the article, free to read, it has their starting price this year based on their average from Fox stats last year. And then it also has what their price should be to start this year based on what the average would have been last year under the new stat server.
Yep.
You get that, mate?
Yeah. I'm
see you
just
thinking
carrying
very
the one.
hard.
Yep. Talk to me.
Isaiah Katoa is 6th on the list of players who is overpriced by $53,000. He averaged 65.4 last year. Actually should have been on the new stats 59.9. Mitchy Moses is actually bottom of this at $66,000 swing. 55-point average down to 48. So
55 to 48.
yeah, if that's for Mitch Moses.
So that's your goal kicking gap essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. You maybe
much.
had a couple more for goals, depending how Parry go, but again, tough draw. So
Start of the season. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
thereabouts.
cool. All right, so I'm feeling where I'm feeling in Isaiah, the stats sort of reflect that. I just think there's better options out there, personally.
With his career trajectory, Isaiah Katoa, does he become a Supercoach stud in coming years or not?
Based on these stats, I don't think so. If anything, I think the guys that play really direct and create space for others, I think they're going to get punished, is my concern.
Your fullback and your centre in said teams, aka Herbie, as we saw last year, will just continue to erupt. They'll be the big winners.
I think Isaiah is probably going to be very similar to like Cooper Cronk throughout his career. I think he's going to be a supreme player week to week in the NRL, but I don't think Supercoach's stocks are going to be all that high.
He'll be thereabouts, whether or not he hits like your Cleary, Nico, halfback levels, possibly not.
Yeah, I can't see him being at those sort of.
Well, I mean, the other thing you add in there is just goal kicking.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Isaiah's a hard pass from me. Sammy Walker, mate, 683K. I don't know what your stats say here. And honestly, with Sam Walker and the way that he plays, I don't even know if I'd buy into what the stats say. I think it just depends on how he's playing and how he's going. But the bigger worry for me is just the combo with Daly Cherry Evans and, you know, whether the stats even tell the story realistically, because we don't know what it's going to look like. I keep getting told DC is going to arrive there and play second fiddle because that's what's the best thing to do. I'll believe it when I fucking see it. He's never had to do it throughout his career. So there's too much risk for me with Sammy Walker. Are you seeing anything different?
I'm not considering him right now because for that reason I want to see him in DC.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm like, DC backseat, try me.
Yeah.
I just don't, and he might be able to do it, but it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks
Yeah, I want to see it
to
first.
work out
Yes.
what that looks like and how he needs to adjust his game. They get a trial this week. Probably I don't know if it's my biggest watch this week, but I said where I'm battling with half-back position a little bit. If they do make it work off the bat, Cherry Evans and Sam Walker, and Walker's the dominant man, like in a red-hot Roosters team, they get a trial up against a near full-strength Eels team, pretty well is. He interests me, but those two would have to gel very quickly this weekend.
And for me, it's not even those two. It's those two as the main thing. But you've also now got Connor Watson playing 13. Like, it's another kind of ball. Like, it's just... I don't know. We say it all the time, but there's just a lot of chefs in the kitchen, and I'm keen to see how it all works out. I'm not convinced Sam Walker can keep getting the same sort of numbers he has over the last few years.
I am.
You
I definitely reckon he can. I just don't think it's going to happen straight away because of the new combo. Look, the other thing you had in, Connor Watson at 9 last year, he would run, he would look creative around the run.
Yeah.
Reece Robson, he's just going to dish. He'll run occasionally, but I think that's got to be good for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Connor Watson jumping to 13. I said on Blake the other day, but like when we spoke to Teddy at the thing the other day, sort of said, who's the young guy to watch? And he goes, it's still Hugo Savali. Like everyone's saying he's not going to play. And he sort of said, he's going to be a very important part of our team week to week. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, if you've now got Hugo coming on the field as well, I'm just like, how does it all fucking fit?
It means that the Roosters are freaking stacked.
It means they're stacked 100%, but I think there will be a loser to come out of this spine, whether it's Connor, DCE, Walker, or maybe Teddy could drop back a little. I don't know. I'm keen. And, you know, if it all goes to plan, it all goes perfectly and they gel and everyone flies, it's going to be amazing. But, like, fuck, I'm getting a bit sick of saying that for the last 7 years and it never happens.
On the argument of future Supercoach prospects, I think Sammy Walker will be at Cleary's maybe a bit of a stretch because he's so good, but Sammy Walker, honestly, I can see it happening from sort of mid this year. Maybe it's next year because of the Cherry Evans factor, but hitting like the premium halfback levels.
I think
goal kicking,
yeah.
running game, support, chances his arm. he's going to hit it. It's just a matter of when.
I think he'll be a consistent 2, 3, 4 guy. I don't know if he'll be one halfback. I think it'll be Nath, but I think in that 3, 4, 5, 6 category for sure. Okay, Jerome Hughes, 631K is pretty cheap for Hughesy, to be fair, I think. What do your stats sort of suggest to us?
I'm pretty interested. In terms of the stats, let's have a look. Bottom 3. Third last. So a 64.6 average last year. Should have been 58.8. That's 50, means he's 57K overpriced.
Okay.
Keep in mind, last year, he had injury-impacted games. So he averaged 65 points, which is significantly down on his best in past years, 82, 71, 69, 73. So whilst on the numbers from last year, maybe he's overpriced, I think that balances out a little bit. However, maybe not as much as we think. So like last year, he played 25 minutes in the final game of the year, coming back from injury against Brisbane. He played got 6 points. The game that injured him before that, he played 43 minutes for 31 points. He had a game earlier on in the year where he played 40 minutes for 16 points. He got an early spell in round 1 against Para, 71 points in 60 minutes. So like, he's an 80-minute man for them, obviously.
Yeah.
He interests me, Jerome Hughes.
Yeah, I haven't given him too much thought, if I'm completely honest, just because I'm not exactly sure what I'm expecting from Melbourne this year. I think they'll be up there still, but I'm just not sure if it'll be the week-to-week dominance that we saw, previous seasons. I still would prefer to pay the money just to have Nath Cleary and know that I'm safe there, but Hughesy definitely worth considering. So you sort of think, despite what the stats say that he'll drop back, you think that his original number from last year is a little bit deceiving because of those injuries and all that sort of stuff? It
definitely is. Because he missed a lot of minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't think Hughesy's for me, but I can understand why it's appealing.
I'll tell you why. I reckon I'd nearly start him, and I still might, if Elias Katoa was there.
Yep, I think that's very
Losing his
fair.
main back row man, that worries me.
Yeah, and because of what Ellie could bring, it's not like you're losing your back row, but you're losing a kick target. You're losing so fucking much there. It's insane.
Yeah, and speaking of soft tissue injuries, Jerome Hughes has had a pretty tough run in recent years.
And he's not getting any younger as well. Okay, Hughesy, I like that. Jaden Campbell, 711K at 5.2%. I'm very excited for JC this year. I think I'll have a look at him at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'm sleeping on him a little bit. Did you have any stats here that say anything about JC?
Let me see what I can find for you, Roo.
While you're looking for those, the only thing that I would say with Jaden Campbell, and I don't think it'll impact because I don't think Josh Hannay is going to reinvent the wheel there, but it is just, I guess there's a new coach. It's the start of a new era. You don't quite know exactly what his role will be, but the one thing that I took away from the All-Stars the other day is that when Jaden Campbell was put on the field, I don't know if someone fucking hypnotised him before he went on and told him he was a front rower, but my God, he looked confident taking the ball forward. For a guy that's had injuries and stuff, the way that he was taking them on, I was like, holy shit, this is terrifying.
Yeah, actual price is $8,000 less.
Yep.
Sorry, overpriced, so nothing significant.
Yep.
He averaged 72 last year, but in non-injury impacted games, 76.2. So a slight uptick. I think if you want to start Jaden Campbell, and he is an elite SuperCoach player, he scores in so many different areas. I think it's a gut feel one where you just go, I want to see it. I want to see the Titans first. But if you come out and go, no, he's just a gun, he'll continue to accumulate. The Titans looked all right in the trial last week. Back it. I'm not worried about him. I just need to see the Titans go well in an NRL game.
Can I just circle back? The start of that conversation, you said he's 8,000 overs, did you say?
Yep. At
what point with these stats and numbers, if someone's 50K over, do you start to care at that point? Is it 30K over? Where sort of becomes the sort of red flag area where you're like, oh, this is overvalued or undervalued for you? Or is it sort of player-to-player dependent?
It's still more positional dependent for me than anything. But, it's hard to argue with the numbers. If a player's, there are 20, 25-odd players, about 20-odd players here who are sort of 40K plus overvalued.
Yeah. And 40K kind of equates to around about 4 points, right? On average? Is that sort of the way, or 3 points something?
So you're looking at, the 40Kers, that's sort of 4 to 5. And then 50K, you're looking at sort of closer to 6. So they're pretty damning numbers.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
stats don't tell the full story, but they tell a pretty freaking good one, especially with guys who played 20-plus games last year, and it's a good sample size. So you can't ignore those numbers. I think anything that 30K less, whether you're overpriced or underpriced, is like, okay, it's worth noting, but it's not a significant swing sort of thing. But as a whole with the new system, I'm taking absolute notice of these numbers, but it's just more positionally for me. Like, we did CT Dub last week, and one of my big eye catchers from the weekend was Stephen Crichton playing left edge.
Yep.
And I just don't see a world where Stephen Crichton isn't a better Supercoach player this year off the back of these stats.
Very
fair. I think he was about a 4-point increase or a 3-point increase or something on last year, which is nothing enormous, but I just think centres, they're going to get more. He has great hands. The shift to the left side I really like, and I just all of a sudden go, I like that. And on the same note, like a fullback, I think certain fullbacks like Scotty Drinkwater, like Reece Walsh, etc., are just going to be impacted negatively, at least early on.
Yeah.
I also had a dream last night. You'll be pleased to know. I went without Reece Walsh round 1, and he came out and just started ripping and tearing.
That does make me happy.
I felt sick in my gut, and it was a freaking dream. I'm like, imagine
Timmy,
if this is round 1.
Did you wake up during the night like?
Yeah, in just like cold sweats. I'm like, who am I? Why is he not in my team at the moment?
He turned to Lozzie. I just had a dream about Reece Walsh. She said, same. It's a win all round.
I'd assume she had him on her team.
Yeah, not bad.
Thank you. Number 10 on the list, we got Dill Brown, 535K, exceptional value for Dill Brown. I don't know, bro. The optics around seeing him on the right side the other day. Do we assume if he's named at 5'8" in Vegas, he'll get dual sooner
Which
rather
is
than
where
later?
it becomes interesting. Like, you're not picking him at halfback.
No, you're
but
not.
He becomes valid at 5'8", right?
At validity, Jesus, good God, go to sleep, kid. At 5'8", he does, yes. Halfback, I've tinkered with it a few times, mate, but I have such little faith in this Newcastle side.
Same.
It's
And I
brutal.
saw, it might have been on YouTube last week, a comment saying like, someone said, I know you're down on the Knights, but surely with these halves and these recruits that, there'll be points and we'll be better and that sort of thing. Granted, that was prior to the trial where they didn't score any points. I think the Knights will be fine in the future. I think the signings are great.
Yes.
I just think to start the year with a questionable forward pack, questionable depth, they're going to be poor. And I think you fast forward with a year under Justin Holbrook, a few off-season signings, I know it sounds silly, but for 2027, in the pack with a bit more depth there, I think they'll be fine. Just this year, I have concerns.
And right now we're looking at Newcastle side. I haven't seen Kalen Ponga.
Yeah.
Like he's the main guy. I haven't seen him on the field yet. They're telling me he's going to play in Vegas. I'll wait and see.
No one seems to have a freaking clue what the spine is going to be.
No one's seen, but everyone in Newcastle tells me we're idiots. We know what we're doing. It's like, okay, well, Dill Brown just played on the right-hand side of the field. Maybe I missed the memo, but no one seemed to know that was going to happen until they ran out the other day. So
Fletcher Sharp just had a niggle and missed the last trial.
I don't know. Anyway.
So for that reason, Dill Brown, I cannot touch an attacker at the Knights.
Yep.
Ponga's gone.
Oh, he's off your list?
Yeah, I can't. No, I haven't seen him, mate. Like, sounds like he's hardly played this preseason.
Yeah. I can tell you exactly how this is going to play out. I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm going to be at a Knights training. He's going to be moving okay, and I'm going to get this little light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Where I think I'm going to get trapped into it, but we'll see. I think draft weekend's a big worry for me too with Kalen Ponga. Anyway.
He'll beat Jacob Saifidi one-on-one and you'll be like, in.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Tomato Mart next on the list. He is injured, so take him out of there. Tommy Did next on the list. 637K halfback, 3.1% ownership. Another one, I don't know. I just think there's better options than Did. And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, agreed. They have the best draw to start the season, the Cowboys, which is the only appealing thing. Again, I have my question marks around the Cows, but I mean, he started last season with scores of 18, 28, 21.
Yeah, grim.
He'll factor at some stage later on in the season, provided the Cowboys are going well and they have their hot streaks, the Cows. They go on runs. I'm not starting with him.
Yeah. I'm going to scroll all the way down to number 18, if that's okay with you, Timbo. So skipping over Wishart, Ilias, Sullivan, Schneider, Kobe Black, unless you got anything to say on one of those.
No, only that if Munster or Jerome Hughes went down in preseason, Tyron Wishart, straight into my 5'8" slot. But until that point, we will move on.
Yeah. Number 18 is Lockie Galvin. Apparently absolutely braining it there at the Bulldogs. Fitness is off the fucking charts. I like that he's playing 5. Oh, he's probably not going to be playing 5'8" now, is he? Because it looks like Matt Burton's okay. That probably cools me on him again. I look at the game of Yahtzee Galvin's playing under his name, 555,000. I go, I know it's unders for this kid, but when he's playing halfback, I do still find it hard to buy into.
I'd start him if he was at 5'8".
I think I would too. I think if Sean O'Sullivan was playing in Vegas, I think I would go for him at 5'8".
Is there, like, if Birdo isn't named for Vegas, and look, because of the size of the squad now, they'll probably just name him, but like he left the field with a freaking hamstring injury that didn't look great, and then he has to jump on a plane and play in Vegas. Is it 2 weeks later? Yeah.
A week after they get on the plane, they leave Friday, which means they arrive
2
Friday.
weeks
They
from
play
when he
Saturday.
left the field with a hamstring
Correct.
injury.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, is there a world where he doesn't get named round one? Galvin gets named at 5'8", which he would if there was no Burton. Could he get Jewel?
I think he's a chance to. I think he should. Well, the only thing, but like, or does Supercoach look at it and go, we think Burton will be back the next week, so it's only going to be 1
Yeah.
week. I don't know how they do
Probably.
it. But yeah, I would love to see him get 5'8". It would make life very interesting.
Do you think it's interesting that Winston has gone over earlier than his own team?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, he's
He's over
keen
there
as
already.
well.
I don't know if that
Yeah,
says
yeah.
more about
He
Winston.
left yesterday.
Yeah.
Loves it. Fucking loves it.
Do you think
way.
they should have gone sooner? What is
No.
you think
No.
this is
Is
the
he
right
going to
amount of time?
Vegas or is he travelling?
No, I think he's gone to LA
Thank
first.
God.
I think, but no, from talking to some of the players and coaching staff that went over there the last few years, I think they thought it was too long. I think you're better off get into Vegas for a week and spend your first 2 nights looking at the lights and everything, and then just start
and
prepping.
Manly were the only team initially in that first year I know that just went straight to Vegas, didn't go anywhere else. A lot of the other clubs.
Yeah, but
have,
I think Manly, they went straight to Vegas, but I think they were there 2 days
They were there
before
for
everyone else. They were in
a
Vegas
while.
for a long time, whereas like the Roosters went to LA and they all went to
Yeah,
different places
yeah.
first. Oh, I think it's better off. I think the season's too long to go overseas for 2 weeks
Yeah,
at the start
fair
of the
enough.
season. So I think that's how it'll be moving forward. Who were we? Galvin, thank you. Jamal Fogarty, 667K. Chime in whenever, Timmy. I think he's going from minor premiers, the best forward pack behind him, to the Manly Seagulls without a forward pack, and he's gone from having, obviously a very talented fullback to now having the fullback that you just try and get the ball to at all times. I think there's so many red flags around Jamal Fogarty that I can't be interested in.
Question marks about goal kicking with
Yeah.
Garrick there. Everything goes through Tom Trebojevic. Pass.
Adam Dewey's got the bye. Round 1, he's at 556K. I love him at halfback for the West Tigers this year, but with the bye in week 1 and just I really like Dewey as a Supercoach player, but I don't have confidence week to week that he's going to score with these other guys.
I'd start him if he was Jewel.
Jewel again. Yep. I think that's fair. Gun to head, if it was Adam Dewey and he didn't have the bye week 1 and he was at 5'8", or it was Lachlan Galvin who had Jewel for week 1, which one would you take? They're both at the same price.
I'd go Galvin.
Okay.
But yeah, Dewey's also such a 5'8". Like, I feel a bit hard. I get why they do it, but like, do you think it's rough Galvin not getting Jewel? He's playing number 7.
Not really. He's the halfback.
Yeah, fair. I'm just looking at it selfishly as just solve my
Selfishly,
headaches.
optically, I agree with you, but they've gone out of their way to make sure he's the fucking halfback. So
it'd be Galvin. Yeah, if Dewey's 5'8", he'd be my favourite. But at halfback, I think there's probably certainly safer options.
yeah, next player on the list that would have been a conversation, I believe, is this Jonah Glover. That would have been an interesting conversation for 5'8", but he's now injured. Jamie Humphrey suspended for the first 2 weeks.
There's no other relevance, actually, come to think of it.
What's that?
I don't think there's any other relevance on this
No
list.
one else jumping out
Not
there
unless
at
there's any.
halfback?
Not unless there's any injuries.
Yeah, beautiful. Tanner Boyd, no thank you. Yep. By the way, guys, just a reminder too, obviously we have got the Roo Crew SC Playbook subscribers now over in the Roo Crew. We launched a footy tipping comp last night. Actually got a $3,000 cash prize for the winner of that. We're giving away a few $100 for the punniest name in there. ESPN Footy Tips has come on board this year. So if you want to join the Roo Crew, that's down below in the description to come and join that. SC Playbook subscribers, what's doing over there? The Discord, how's it going?
Very well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit
Clean.
jealous. Clean, yeah.
Bit like this morning's shaving job. Very clean.
So,
the hat
mate,
off.
it's good. It's just a smoother process. I've been able to do some live Q&As with the SC Playbook subscribers in there as well. We're doing another one tomorrow. Looking forward to that one, and everyone can jump in. Very laid back sort of thing. And yeah, mate, ours is the whole community. So we've got channels for NBA, EPL, NFL, AFL. The boys ramped up their AFL in studio down in Melbourne, which is popping off as well. So if you're a subscriber, jump into that. Team news, contributor chat, late mail, all sorts of stuff.
Is it true that you are removing a piece of clothing with every question that you answer on the live?
Yes.
Good. I'm there.
Tune in.
Lock me in. So all those great things. We've also got a exclusive episode of Beers and Breakevens for subscribers of both of those platforms. That'll be going live tomorrow morning for you guys to get stuck into there. We'll probably have one of them most weeks, if not definitely every fortnight, but most weeks throughout the season. So links down below in the description for SC Playbook subscribers and the Roo Crew. All right. We're done on halfback?
Done.
Done. Thank Christ. Okay. You ready? Ready to dive into 40 foot of shit and come up with jack all?
It's rank,
Yeah.
but also it's not uninteresting. Like
It's not
because
uninteresting.
because it's
Yeah.
so wide open.
Yes.
It is interesting, but
Yeah.
it's just like, ugh.
Okay, let's start with number one. Jonah Pizzetti's at 67.1%. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger gap from number one ownership to number two. It's at 46% difference, which is fucking crazy. For a guy that, honestly, I don't think he's a slam dunk, Jonah Pizzetti. I think he'll be good. I think he's the best of a very shit bunch. But yeah, if he's at 350k when we sell him, I probably won't be blown over, depending on how things go with Parramatta.
I think you have to have him.
I think you have to, yeah.
I think I really don't want to have to play him at all. Mitch Moses is going to be pulling all the strings. He won't be goal kicking. Obviously, Moses will. I have him because he's cheap and he'll make a bit of money. Could hit the ground running, but again, like I mentioned, Parramatta's draw. It's not going to help him either. So, yeah, reluctant to play him, but I think he's also a must.
If Atkinson or Sanders were dual, would you have them both over Pizzette?
Good question.
I think I would.
Yeah, I just think they're going to have more important roles in their teams. And then, like, Sanders could goal kick. Atkinson, really good running game. Pizzette, I just don't know.
Yeah. Now, Pizzette sounds really average, the conversation we just had, but as we get through this conversation, you'll realise how he is gold, I think, realistically. You have to have him.
Yep.
I don't think you can go without him. And I would absolutely love to see the other 33% of humans out there that don't have him, who the fuck they do have. I'm intrigued. Cody Walker's at number 2, 21.3%. I've got to be honest, I had a tough conversation with Cody this week. He's been in the side the entire preseason. I actually took him out this week.
Why?
I'm really concerned about how these new stats are going to impact him. And off the back of these stats, I'm leaning towards another guy, which we will get to very soon, who I'm sure you'll all be able to guess who that is. But Cody Walker, I'm leaning away a little bit. 400k is fucking unreal. But yeah, I'm worried that most of these stats are going to go to Trell Mitt, Jai Gray, et cetera, et cetera. What are your thoughts? Talk me back into him. It probably won't be hard. My arm is ready.
Yeah, I think I know who you're thinking of based on the stats chat. I've got him. I've raved on about the Bunnies all pre-season. I think they're in for a massive year under Wayne Bennett. As it stands, everyone is fit.
You tipped them on bloke to finish top 14, didn't you? From memory?
Top
Did
14.
you just say
Something like
top
that.
14?
I think that's what he said. Something
Oh my
cowardly
God.
I had him top 4. And I can also, FU, I can see him winning it comp potentially.
Yeah, I can see him winning a comp too.
Even you add now the Payne Haas signing,
Oh my God.
that's going to send a rocket up every forward's backside, knowing he's coming. So, yeah, look, I just think I am stupid, but like I get it.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, the only red flag to me with Cody Walker is injury. I do
Yes.
not have another one with him. Like, he starts dirt cheap. He's an attacking weapon. Like, he averaged 41 last year. That was in 62 minutes per game, not only because of injured games, but he also came off the bench in games as well. Years before that, 57 average, 69 average, 57, 84. As I said, in a pretty ordinary crop of 5'8". Again, I don't need him to stay fit all season. If he can stay fit for 6 or 7 weeks, even 5 weeks, score well, do a job, make some money, and then I'll turn him into Cam Munster or whoever it might be. All I'm asking from you, Cody, is just give me 5 weeks of fitness.
The pro to to Cody Walker that I do see, mate, is I look at the way these new stats are done and with the ball playing that he has, and I look at Dave Fafita, Dry Gray, Latrell Mitchell. If he can just put any of them into half spaces, they're guys that if they just get one-on-ones, they should probably score.
The best attacking back row in the competition is Dave Fafita.
Yep.
He's now running off his hip.
Yeah. Trell Mitt, if you can just get him one-on-one close to the line, he'll find a way over. And Jai Gray doesn't pass the fucking football. So Cody, if it's him like going through, Cody will be getting points for that as well.
Cody puts him in space and said, Jai, not a noted passer of the football. Dummy, go through yourself. I actually haven't looked twice. I just see he's just in for me.
Yeah, no, I did look twice, and now you're talking me back into it.
You said your arm was ready.
Yeah,
let me talk you out of him.
No, don't.
So the reality is he also started last season with scores of 28, 48, 39, 27. And then he had injury, missed a game, came back, got injured again, missed a bunch of games. So, like, he's hardly a... You know what's interesting? He's 21% ownership and he's second most owned. So every other 5'8", it is split between number 3 is 20%, number 4 is 14%, number 5 is 9%. Like, it's wide open, but I just see at the price, in a perfect world, I go Cody Walker stays fit. I could hold him all season. Realistically, though, Cody Walker, Cam Munster around 6 or 7, whatever. Happy days.
Yeah, very fair. Number 3, Cam, the money man Munster at 682K, 20.7%. I think when I look across this entire list, he might be the safest guy to go for that will average 65, 70. I don't know what your stats suggest that he will average, but I think he's probably the safest play. I don't know. I haven't really considered money. Maybe I should. Maybe it is just the obvious. Don't fucking outthink the room. But I'm big on outthinking the room, and it's what I plan to do. So, anything on Cam Munster?
A bit of a difference in the stats. 69.8 last year average, 66.1 under the new system. That's a $36,000 swing, which is quite significant. But I don't know. Like, let's have a look at his start last year. Please don't be huge. 99, that was in the shellacking of the Eels. I kind of don't really care about that.
Honestly, it's not even that much of a great score considering they won 60-0.
Yeah. 61, 57, 93, 61. There's no world where I can knock anyone starting Munster because in a position we all have sort of concerns around and don't see a lot of value. He probably is the number one in the position.
Yeah.
Just lock him in. Like, I don't hate it. But I'm going to try and find value elsewhere and spend that cash elsewhere.
My only counter on him is that I think he did play a reasonable amount of footy last year without Jerome Hughes. Jerome Hughes obviously had a few injury-affected games and whatnot. You know, as we just said, you know, Hughesy averaged 82 the season before. Last year he averaged 65. We think that'll level back up. I just wonder if Munster, you know, if having Hughesy there does steal a little bit more off him realistically.
Does Pat maybe help though?
Yeah, maybe it does. But like 2024, Munster went from 62 when Jerome Hughes was high, 82 and 62, to last year, you know, it's sort of swapped again. I'm just trying to think of I think he's the safest, most consistent guy you can go for there. I don't think as you said, I don't think I'd ever knock anyone for it. But that's probably my only concern with Cam Munster.
Yep.
From that situation. Maybe Pap's not being there. I would probably lean towards Pap's not being there would help them. I think that Sewell will bring a lot less than what Paps will. But once again, I also think that this Melbourne side will just be different without Eli Katoa, without Nas, Pappy. Yeah. So there is a little bit of mystery there, but I think that he is probably the safest dude there. All right, number 4. Well, my man at the moment, I think I will start with Cody Walker or Jackson Purdue, trying to work out which one's which. Purdue looks like he'll play at centre now. He has the dual position there, which I like, that I can make a move eventually. I think with these new attacking stats, I think Purdue's getting slept on a little bit about how better he will go when in this centre role. So I wish he was a little bit cheaper, if I'm completely honest, because it does sort of still feel like a gamble to me, but I'm interested in Purdue. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, in the dual position, extremely handy. The 5'8" CT dub, especially early on where, you know, CT dubs might be firing, 5'8s might be firing or whatever. Like, the ability to swing him around would be pretty handy. As we said, the Cowboys have this outstanding draw to start the season, really soft. So, as you said, like I think initially I would have preferred him at 5'8", but now with the new stats coming in where when he is playing centre, he will get a lot more, I think, line assist, try assist, line assist certainly. I don't mind the pick at all.
Yeah, I've got him in my side at the moment. You did really, you got me tossing and turning over Cody Walker again, which is disappointing. I'll tell you one thing that I'm finding, and not that we're going to talk about our whole team here, mate, but like usually when I get to this part of the season, I'm deciding between Cody Walker at 400k and Purdue at 557. I don't have that 150k to fuck around with. I'm finding this year I do.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is, I think it's actually making it a little bit harder for me. Because like I think at the moment, without getting out of this screen and going back to my thing, I think I've got like 400k sitting in my bank.
It's because we've got a good cheapie crop.
Yeah, and there's cheapies that I'm worried about not having, and I've still got 400k sitting there. So, I'm sort of leaning towards Purdue at the moment, but your Cody Walker chat has really rattled me. If he comes out and has a blinder this weekend and sets up 4 tries, he's playing this weekend, isn't he?
Yeah. That, like, again, preface, like, with all the bunnies chat, I'm biased because I'm just so high on them this year. Heaps of people aren't. Heaps of people are like, oh, there'll be injuries and they'll be no good and they won't make the top 8. And they might be right. There's every chance that I'm wrong. So I've gone particularly hard on them and I think they'll do well. And off the back of that, I think Cody orchestrates a lot of it. So, yeah.
Okay. Our next man on the list, your man, Ethan Strange. Stranger Danger, 610k, 9.1% ownership. I have just nothing to back this up with whatsoever. It's just my vibe. The only thing that I'm worried about with Ethan Strange is that he's coming off a career high year. Whether he's able to maintain that or not, I think he probably will. But I would just rather take a punt on Purdue or Walker personally. Where are you sitting on Strangey?
I mean, I'd ignore the career high year because it was his second year in the NRL. So it's
sure, but evidence tells us when that happens early, it is hard to maintain, though, is my concern. And I'm not saying it will happen to him by any means. Like, please don't think I'm hating on Ethan Strange. I'm just trying to provide you some reason why I'm not going with him.
Does evidence tell us that, or are you just manufacturing it?
I think evidence pretty clearly tells us from the past. Yeah.
That if you have a good second year, third year might not match it.
Oh, I just think sometimes when you are so high and you go to the kangaroo straighter and everything, it's not always a certainty that you're going to maintain at that level. Like the second year syndrome stuff is sort of spoken about for a reason. Once again, not saying it's going to happen to him. There's options that I prefer over Ethan Strange, and it's one that I'm like. Do you think Ethan Strange can get better this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's third year syndrome tell us? Second year syndrome tells us shit.
So, okay, let's not. You're diving too close in on the term. What I'm saying is he's coming off a career high year in the early parts. I'm not sure if he can maintain it for another year with a new halves pairing, all that sort of stuff. Once again, can't stress enough. I'm not saying it will happen. I just think there's better options that I would rather go down.
Yeah, he's another gut feel one where I've tinkered with starting him, and for what it's worth, I've never really been keen on Raiders to start the season in recent years, just because I do question their attack and these sort of things. 15 tries in 23 games, to your point, is probably my concern of like, that's a lot.
It's a lot
for a 5'8".
Yep.
That being said, I think he's going to be more dominant with ball in hand with Jamal Fogarty gone and a rookie half next to him. 62-point average with 25 in base last year. I think it's just an eye test one for me with Ethan Strange, a bit like Munster where like there'll be some low scores, but off the back of his running game with line breaks and tackle busts and offloads, I just think he'll score pretty well most of the time. But there's a lot of gut feel about this. And there's a lot of eye test with this.
Yep.
And look, if we were summing him up at that price at halfback, I would not consider him. But in a 5'8" position where I just don't think there's any great options, I can see why you do it. And I can see him improving this year, yeah.
Yeah, very fair. I guess my only other thing would be that, he obviously played the year before and did really well, but I think last year was his breakout sort of season. I think like all teams are coming in now aware of Ethan Strange as well, what he's capable of, what he can do. He's just come back from a kangaroo tour. I know they were very impressed with him over there. So I just think teams will be a little bit better prepared for Ethan Strange.
What about if you kick goals?
Oh, that changes it immediately, obviously, yeah. I assumed he wouldn't, but you probably know more about it than me.
Sanders. I know he's kicked before.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think there's other guys that I would rather go, and I'm happy to, mate. If we get to round 5 and round 6, and Ethan Strange has evidently improved, and the Raiders are flowing, and he is the more dominant guy, fucking oath, 100%. I just want to see it first before I buy into it this early in the season.
I'm too scared of him, and you could say it's at most 5'8", but I'm just too scared of him going 25-25 the first 2 weeks, which he's capable of.
He's capable of, realistically, yeah. Okay, number 6, Send on Smith, 5'8" /hooker, 506k. Will be goal kicking. Can confirm that. It's still, I don't know if that adds points. Honestly, for the way he goal kicked in the first trial, that could cost him points realistically. So and I don't know what side he's going to play on. I don't know what's doing. I don't know if he is locked in for the first 6 weeks. I have no idea what to say on Sandon. I love him, but I don't know.
Such a good footballer.
Yeah.
Love him too. The dual position's fantastic. 5'8" hooker, 506k, decent price. Could also be coming off the bench by round 2.
Yeah.
Too much risk.
Yeah. It's not for me. Ezra Mam. I'll tell you what, tune into our SuperCoach draft content that's coming over the next 24 hours because Ezra Mam went higher than Ezra Mam would have drafted himself. It was wild. He's at number 7, 585k. I'll tell you what, mate, whenever I look at Ezra, I think you're not really a SuperCoach player, but fuck, for him to be at 585k, he's doing something right. Not for me, though.
Yeah, now it's priced on a 60-point average from 74 minutes per game. He had that game late in the year against Melbourne where he played 21 minutes for one of the finest points. So I just think to start the year, defence is tighter, that big argument, points not as free-flowing, everything going through Reece Walsh. I think there might be a time and place for Ezra when a soft run comes and the Broncos are inevitably firing, just not to start the year. Like again, you take out, there's no goal kicking sort of aspect. Everything's going to go through Reece Walsh. He could come out and go 90-90, but then he's every chance to go 15-15.
Yep.
He was also coming off the bench. Are we assuming he's going to be...
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. It does impress me he's at 585k.
No, he's actually started every game last year.
Did
he didn't start on the bench when he
but
came back?
But he didn't play a full 80.
Played the full 80 every week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, you know what? I was under the same impression, Kat.
Yeah, where did I get these stats from?
Year before.
Did he return just before finals? Because he got the hamstring and then
I think he returned finals week 1.
Yeah,
okay. He missed a lot of games.
Actually, you know what? I think he came off the bench in
that.
finals in week 1 or week 2.
You might be right.
I think that's what it was.
I'm confident that he wasn't starting those games. I remember being there and seeing him come on.
I remember having the conversation. Tomato Martin, number 8, we've already spoken about him. Mate, I'll tell you what, number 9, Braden Trindle, I couldn't do it, but fuck. I watched that dude that played on the weekend for the Indigenous All-Stars and I go, 417k is an absolute fucking steal. But you can't be confident with Trick that he's going to do it every single week.
I tell you what, don't wish it upon anyone, but if Nico went down,
changes the world.
Trindle becomes elite. Does he goal kick if Trindle? Yeah,
probably. And I don't know who the fuck plays halfback.
Goal kick, dominant half. Probably wears the 7 and gets dual. For round 1 he could. Yeah, far out. Again, not while Nico's there for me, but if anything happens to Nico and he misses a stretch of games, lock in.
Yeah. Time we shot at 10. Already touched on him. Dally Cherry Evans at number 11, 618k. From what we've been led to believe that he'll play second fiddle, 600k is too much for me.
It's a no from me for sure, especially we need to see it, not just in the trial, but early season. But again, we're looking at this half-back position that's relatively stacked, some really good options. You go, all right, what about the dude who's just shifted down to 5'8", and he's a veteran of the game, an absolute gun. Won't be doing it, but he could come out and just average 70 like that and go, was it obvious? Or
how cheap would DCE have to be right now for you to pick him? 500k do you take him?
Yeah, probably early 5s too.
Early 5s?
Yeah, probably 500 to start. Only because I think Sammy Walker, Teddy, there are too many strike weapons.
Yeah, very fair. Matty Burton at number 12, 557k. I know they've said it's all sweet and everything, but the hamstring, it does just worry me too much to start the season.
If he plays week 1 in Vegas because he wants to play in Vegas and they take a little bit of a gamble on him, he could do his hammy 10 minutes in. Just not worth it, the pump.
I do think he will be an interesting guy as the season goes on. We'll talk about it at some point if he does move to centre. That'll spark my interest a little bit under these new stats and all that sort of stuff. Mate, number 13. This is the other guy I'm considering, to be honest with you. I know he's a bit of a pod play. He's only at 2.5%. I've always been a fan of Blaze Salungi. I think last season had his ups and downs and everything. Didn't start the season. I think it knocked his confidence a little bit. Mate, he's still at 580k. He's still had a great season at 5'8" from a SuperCoach point of view. I just think he'll be better for the run. Another year with this squad, all this sort of stuff. He's got some stuff to make up for last year, but the attack was never really a concern for me. I don't think I'll have the balls to do it when push comes to shove, but he's definitely my third option at the moment.
He's a good an okay stat for you that I've just found.
I love okay stats.
Yeah, it's definitely. I was going to say.
If I had to rank my favourite stats, okay stats would be near the top.
I was going to say here's a good stat for him. Like, it's not a good stat. It's
Yeah.
okay. Well, I just sort of thought of Blaze, and I'm like, again, just the risk of low scores and that. Pretty consistent last year. Like,
Mate, I think because everyone was so focused on the defense and shit. Like I had him in my draft comp, and he was pretty fucking consistent every week.
his lowest. Let's ignore. He scored a 35 in. That was a buy-in when half his team was out, so scratch that. He had a 37 in round 27 against the Dragons. Penrith, did they rest in that game? Maybe a few. Anyway, he had a 37 there, but that was his only score under 40 all year. Like, going through his scores to start last year, 63, 58, 59, 61, 65, 112. Bye week, 51, 51, 81, 54. Like, more consistent than I gave him credit for.
And I think the other thing is too that Blazer's role is, he runs the football quite often, and two, because so many teams are targeting him, like he might miss 4 tackles, but he's usually making 25. Like he averages 30 in base every week, and he's in the best attacking team in the comp on that left edge.
Yeah, I won't touch him because of that draw we spoke about with Cleary and the Panthers earlier, but he's one that I can see himself once that draw eases off of snapping up.
I'm not ruling out double Panther.
Oh.
Mainly to spite you. Just to be a
go
dick
for it.
and do nothing but fuck myself over. 14 Jerome Luai, 5'8", 465k, got the bye round 1, obviously. Any thoughts on Romy?
Nah, I don't think so, mate. Again, actually, no. Just no.
Now, that's a good stat. That's some good stats. I do feel similar. I think Tim raised some good points there that I found hard to push back on. But yes, I'm very the same. Like, it just doesn't move the needle for me.
Yeah, for
Is
me,
he a good example as well of like what you see out there every weekend doesn't necessarily replicate in a social.
Didn't you hear Tim say that before?
In a SuperCoach
I
context.
Didn't you hear
It's
him?
exactly what he said.
Yeah, you gotta pay
Yeah, I
attention.
thought he made a great point. I was
Yes,
just
it was
backing
good.
him up.
He is a good example of that. And for him to be relevant, I just think he'd have to be starting 7 and just be dominating, which we've seen at times in the past. But he sort of, even with Dewey last year when he came into the halves, he's just happy to play that second fiddle. He just does it so well, doesn't he?
Yeah, fair. 15, Fletcher Sharp, 730k. My God, that's a lot of bicky. I don't know what position Fletcher Sharp's going to play. I don't know if Fletcher Sharp's going to play. To steal one of the great quotes of all time from 4 seconds ago, nah, is what I'm going to run with. Do you have anything to add to Fletcher Sharp?
Could be the sharpest thing you've ever said.
Oh, nice.
2% owned. Nah, mate, I don't. Like, again, he's so elite. I'll own him at some point this year, but it sure as hell won't be round 1 at 730k.
Going through that list, the next guy that I can see that I think will be a starting 5'8" is Chanel Harris-Tavita, 539k.
He's under an injury cloud as well.
He is he? Yeah, okay.
No, honestly, the Warriors have the best probably halves depth in the competition. They're all injured.
None of them are available. I'll tell you what is going to be interesting. If they have just one more halves injury, I think Jet Cleary is dangerously close to playing, which will be interesting. Next man on the list that I want to touch on is AJ Brimson, 5'8", 649k. It's a lot of bicky again. To be locked in at 5'8", don't know what the Titans quite look like. I think he's a huge pod play for people, but I think 649 is just too much for me to pay.
0.9% owned.
Yeah, it is appealing, but it's too much to pay, I think.
I don't trust the Titans.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is too, mate, like the Titans can be playing mad and winning games of football, and that's not a certainty that AJ Brimson's going to be carving.
They've got a lot of attacking weapons.
So many. Yeah.
Jaden, Kinney, and I also just don't trust his body.
Yeah.
Better
very
last
fair.
year. It was good to see. A lot more, bit more durable, got more games under the belt, but it hasn't been great history.
Tell me when you want me to stop. I'll throw some names at you. Luke Brooks, Cody Nikarima. Shout out to Tom Birmingham. We'll mention Heath Mason once again. Jake Clifford. Kyle Flanagan. Brandon Wakeham. King Tongia. Jack Cole.
No, there's nothing here, mate.
Nothing here?
You're wasting
Nothing doing?
energy. No.
Okay. Last chance. Jake Clifford. Anything? Any movement?
No.
No?
Good playing Reggie's by round 3.
Harsh, poor Jake Clifford.
Do you have interest?
No. Wasn't asking me.
Okay. No.
I was just trying to get something out of you. Okay. Gun to head.
Oh, before you move on, one question. Mm-hmm. Jake Clifford.
It better be about Jake Clifford. Gun to head. our halfback and 5'8s to start the season. I am going with Nathan Cleary, Dan Atkinson. My 5'8s will be Jonah Pizzette and or Cody Walker or Jackson Purdue, I am thinking. What are you thinking, Timothy, first of his name?
My 5'8", will be Cody and Pizzette.
Yep.
I think that'll change barring injury. I'm freaking torn on halfback. I am. Atkinson will be one, I think. Sanders' goal kicking will help his case. If he's not goal kicking, it will definitely be Atkinson. Gun to head. For a bloke who's done a lot of study, I'm still very torn.
Sounds like Jake Clifford's still a sniff. He's not ruled out yet.
If he gets the goal kicking, Jake Clifford, gun to head. I've got James Hughes at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not what I expected to hear you to say. I'm going to say gun to head, Jerome Hughes is not in your team come round one, I don't reckon.
You're probably right. I just don't know who for. Like,
It's an expensive
I'm going to have a
I
good.
won't be removing the gun either, know that.
I'm going to have a good look at.
God.
I know he's playing a baby Raiders, but I want to see Nico taking the line on this week and running a lot, which probably won't happen, especially in a trial. But I'll be looking out for that. I'm going to watch the Roosters. I was going to say I'm going to be watching the Roosters trial very closely. I'm at a buck, so I probably won't be watching it that closely, but I will go back.
You won't be watching shit.
No, but I will
You'll be
go,
watching the sunrise, my friend.
I will call you and ask you for your thoughts on how they looked.
Yes.
And then I'll go back and watch highlights. Sam Walker interests me. Mate, I'm torn on my gun halfback. I'm going to sit there and watch these games on delay on Monday.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to be rude to you, but if it was a hostage situation, there was a gun to a head, you'd be burnt bread. It'd be fucking red
100%.
rose.
I'd be sore.
I should have asked you which halfback aren't you interested in.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Haddadi?
Her daddy is thinking Cleary and Sanders, Pezzett and Walker. That's just where it's at right
Say
now.
halfbacks again, Cleary and Sanders, is that what you said?
Cleary and
Yeah,
Sanders.
okay.
I
Nice.
know you're keen on Atkinson, and Timmy was like, the whole baby Raiders thing, by the way, is hilarious because I picture these little, literally baby Raiders running around. It's
Little
really
baby papa.
Oh, how cute that his
He's
son
so
went to
cute.
to
Like,
the
he could
promo
beat
day.
the shit out of me, and I have no doubt about it
Yeah.
whatsoever.
He's
And he'd be
planning.
cute
I think
when
he's
he did it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I love how they involve his son in everything. But I'll see how I go. They consider it a placeholder at the moment, but it's a case of not outthinking the room. I think where there are limited options and the ownership is so high, I don't know if I'm willing to go against the grain so early. I think it'll just be a leave it, have a look, and then change.
And like, as you saw by like the hesitance and the uncertainty, Roo, but why? Like at the moment, I really want to go against Nathan Cleary with the draw and the price and all those things we said. But the reason I didn't put a line through him is because I'm not super confident on anyone else.
Yeah.
And we could get to round one and just go, look, you know what? There's a lot of cheaps. I've got money in bank. I'll just go with the safe one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's every chance all three of us get to 5'8", and maybe in 2 weeks' time we just go Cam Munster might just be the best fucking option here.
Ezra Mam on all our teams.
Potentially. Thank you for joining us once again on Beers and Breakevens. Now, next week's episode, we'll be out at normal time. I'll be already in Las Vegas, actually. So we are going to be recording that a little bit earlier. That'll be the 2RF analysis. That's our last positional analysis.
I hope so.
I sure as shit hope
We've got
so.
a big afternoon coming up.
We're
if we-
shit out of luck if it's not.
Yeah.
We're in serious curry. I might be doing a podcast from the plane.
Have you done flex yet, or have you is that a general conversation?
That's a general combo,
Okay.
I think.
General combo.
Don't come in here and cause fucking
Yeah,
trouble,
who are
okay,
you,
young lady?
Just a question.
Jesus Christ. But yes, all going well there. We will have an episode for you guys next week. We'll record it a little bit earlier. We won't have team list analysis because I'll already be in the plane, but I will have a podcast on team list. Timmy will go through it on SC Playbook, so you will have plenty of coverage of that sort of stuff, just not here on Beers and Breakevens.
Will you be on the plane when TLT drops?
No, my plane leaves at 5:45.
So are you doing in the loos at the airport?
Correct. I won't lose. Fuck that. I'll be
Yeah,
sitting out
do
with
it.
the people.
I was gonna
I'll be
say.
embracing. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, the people in the Qantas first class
Yeah, I
lounge.
was going to say you in the lounge
Oh, you're
again.
a hero. They've probably got a podcasting booth in there for you.
I think they do.
They probably do.
They probably do, to be fair.
Can you actually please do that? Like,
No, I am doing that.
Okay, fantastic.
Can we get... If you work at Qantas in the marketing team and partnerships, get them as a sponsor. Imagine that.
Timmy,
Imagine
that's
that.
something we can take care of.
If only I had two people sitting in the same room as me that are on essentially the Qantas fucking payroll. If only.
Yeah, well,
No one ever helps out Uncle Roo, though, do they? No.
well, maybe Emirates reach out, so then Kat and I can have a few options. Maybe
Yeah, well, that's what you two need, options.
Well, we can do a little Qantas hustle for you. How about that?
I'd thoroughly appreciate
Okay,
it.
cool.
I've been waiting very patiently.
I'll be doing no such thing.
I'll give it a try.
Which of
Let's
your
see.
mates works there?
Hogs.
Oh, yeah, one of the great humans of all time. That's
He probably
disappointing.
would look after you.
He
Well,
would, I have no doubt.
Liana likes you more than she likes
Well,
me.
I thought she did. But here I am paying full price for my Qantas flights. so
maybe if you were
never
just a
know.
better bloke, you'd have mates like
I
this.
couldn't be a better bloke than what I am, mate. I'm going above and beyond for fucking everyone. Okay, it has been a pleasure once again. Shout out to Blue Wealth Property back on board for season 2026. We love you, Tony. You are a champion, and we'll have a heap of content coming your way. He's actually joining us on the show next week in the lead up to Vegas. That'll be super exciting. A heap going on. Any announcements for you? You're back next week. Any
Yep.
announcements from you?
Just get involved.
Get
Don't know
involved,
where it
get
is, but
keen.
just do
SC
it,
Playbook subscribers down below, Roo Crew down below, all happening. 2RFs next week. We'll see you then.